Hello and welcome, everybody. For those that may not know me, my name is Joe Carter. I'm the founder and CEO of the Twin Flame Group, as well as a partner with the franchise consulting company. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join the mid year value multiplier, how to double or even triple your business valuation in the next 90 days. Whether you are running an independent business or building it through franchising, this webinar is for you. The truth is, I have lived on both sides of the table, and I know exactly why I'm so passionate about this. I've been the owner pouring everything into a business, and I've been the guy across the table deciding what that business is worth. After over a decade in corporate leadership, I made the leap to franchise ownership with my friend and business partner. We had wore every hat, fought for every customer, and then we sold it. That exit, it hit 7 times EBITDA, more than double the industry average. On paper, it was a huge win. But here's the catch. It also taught me a very brutal lesson. And the lesson was the buyer, they didn't care about my grind. They cared about my systems, my margins, and whether or not the business could run without me. I left money on the table, millions of dollars to be truthful with you, because too much of that value lived inside my head, not in documented processes. I took that lesson into my next company and doubled down. That second exit, it hit over 14 times EBITDA, a 9 figure exit for myself and our partnership group. But even then, I later discovered a $3.8 million revelation, a value gap that I didn't even see until I worked inside private equity. That was a gut punch, a moment where I realized I did it again. I left value behind. And here's where everything changed for me. After that second exit, I was celebrating with my team, thinking that I had finally won. Then looking at the numbers and saw everything and exactly what I had left on the table. $3.8 million because there were still systems that were not fully documented and vetted. It felt like losing a song that you had been writing for years. The chorus was there, but you never record it. And now it's gone forever. That moment, it lit a fire in me. It stopped being about just my wins and my exits. It became about helping other founders and owners avoid that same pain. I do not want you to live through that kind of regret after a sale like I did. Inside private equity, I sat through over 400 due diligence reviews on business deals totaling over $14 billion in business valuation. In those rooms, I uncovered the more than 380 specific items that PE and VC firms scrutinize when they evaluate a business. I've seen how every single missing process can unlock millions off of an offer, or how a documented system can add multiple turns to an evaluation overnight. You might have seen my recent work in the Franchise Journal, the Texas Developer, Texas Today, USA Wire, and USA Reporter, because I want to share this with the whole world so that you do not have to live through that pain and regret like I did. Keep an eye out for an upcoming TV spot with me on Fox 5 San Diego as well. But here is what matters. Buyers, they do not pay for your hustle. They pay for transferable value. That is what we're going to build together today for your business. So let's dive in. You have heard my story. Now, let's turn the focus to you, because this is not about my journey. This is about your business and what it's really worth. Here's a question that I want you to keep in mind as we go. Is your business truly worth what it should be? More often than not, when I ask that question, the answer that I get from most owners is something close to, of course. But I have sat in the buyer's chair, and I can tell you that the market, it often says otherwise. In private equity, reviewing over 400 deals, the average company valued at between 25 and $35 million totals to over $14 billion in real value that was analyzed line by line. Here's what I learned. Buyers, they don't stop at just your top line revenue. They dig deep into your systems, your team structure, and your documentation. Sometimes one simple question like, do you have that process documented? Can move your EBITDA multiple up by a full turn or make it vanish in seconds. So keep asking yourself as we go, if someone stepped in the room tomorrow to buy your company, would they see a company that runs without you? Would they see predictable, documented operations or a business that is being held together by your hustle? Would they pay a premium or would they discount all of your hard work? That's how you take what you have built and turn it into a franchise ready model that buyers will compete for. And that is exactly what we're going to unpack today. Before we do, let's have a reality check real quick. In just the first half of this year alone, we have already uncovered over $18 million in hidden valuation gaps in businesses that from the outside looked like success stories. These are not revenue gaps. They are valuation gaps. It's money being left on the table because what buyers see when they actually dig in. As we do so, the same red flags continue to pop up. Owners that are so critical to operations that investors back away. Processes living inside someone's head instead of on paper. Margins that collapse the second that revenue growth occurs. But here's a story that still fires me up to this day. A client came in at the beginning with 3.4x EBITDA valuation, roughly $7 million. In just 90 days, without adding a single dollar of new revenue, they jumped to 7.2, over $15 million in valuation. The exact same team, the exact same contracts. Now, buyers are chasing them, not the other way around. So what changed? Key systems were documented. A leadership cadence replaced firefighting. And the company was positioned to be transferable, not just operational. The hard truth is buyers, they are not going to pay for your hustle. They're going to pay for what's left standing when you step out of the day-to-day. When they see a machine, they're going to pay premiums. When they see chaos that's wrapped up in effort, they will discount it, and they will discount it hard. And here's where the franchising angle ties in. The very same levers that increase valuation are the ones that make your business franchise ready. If it can't run without you, you cannot sell it. And you definitely can't scale it into multiple units that someone else owns and operates. But when your systems are so clear and repeatable, you do not just unlock hidden value. You unlock the ability to turn your business into a model that others want to buy into. So ask yourself as we go along, where are your hidden valuation gaps? What would a buyer or a potential franchisee see if they walked in the room today? Because those gaps, they are not just numbers on a spreadsheet. They represent years of your sweat equity that you can either capture or you can lose. And here's what we'll be diving into today and why it matters for you and your business. We're going to discuss why franchising remains one of the safest scaling models out there. Dan, Lane, and I will show you how top operators build transferable value and where others stall out. Even if you never buy into a franchise or turn your business into a franchise, these lessons will sharpen your own growth journey. We'll also discuss how to drive 2 to 3 time valuation jumps in as little as 90 days. We'll break down the exact levers, systems, leadership layers, and positioning that can double or even triple valuations fast. We're going to have a live Q&A session to tackle your specific challenges. This is interactive. Drop your questions in the chat at any time, and we will address them live. Finally, we'll have a launch event to give you the opportunity to unlock some very exclusive and free tools for you. Everyone here is going to get the Quick Win Toolkit today. Inside that toolkit, you're going to find 100 proven sales tactics to boost your leads and your conversion rate, behavior insights and persona worksheets to sharpen your marketing, a cash crisis playbook and finance action steps to stabilize and grow your margins, a brand house framework and marketing templates that you can align your messaging, an HR response framework and bookkeeper interview guides to strengthen your operations, operational recommendations, project Gantt charts, and workflow tools to streamline your execution, and QuickBook guides and team metric dashboards so financials stay clean and ready for buyers. The first 20 people who utilize the QR code in the top left corner of the screen and book a call during this session also going to unlock the custom value roadmap that is valued at over $2,500. After that call, we're going to give you a 90-day implementation plan for you to go put it into action. The custom value roadmap is going to include clear diagnostics of your valuation drivers and gaps, a prioritized action plan tailored to your specific business, and benchmark insights drawn from those over 400 private equity deal reviews. The 90-day implementation plan is going to come with a week-by-week schedule for impacting and implementing high-impact changes, templates and checklists to document systems, build leadership layers, and install dashboards, as well as a milestone checkpoint to ensure that you are building true transferable value. And let me be clear, booking that call is going to cost you nothing except your time. Time that gives you access to years of hard-won knowledge, backed by private equity insights from over 400 due diligent reviews. These are the 5 levers of value that we use to turn a company into an asset that buyers fight over, not just over a job that you happen to own. The first is strategic clarity. Do you know exactly where you are taking your business? Or are you like me back in the UBIF days, out there just chasing revenue? Your story should be your North Star. When buyers or potential franchisees see a defined purpose, guiding principles, and forward-looking plan baked into your culture, every decision points to a bigger end game. And that clarity makes your concept something others want to buy into and your valuation jumps. Second, founder independence. Because if the business cannot run without you, you do not own a company. You own a job. Franchisable businesses are built upon systems and leadership layers that operate without the founder or owner. That's when buyers and franchise candidates pay premiums. Also, system architecture. Are your processes documented? Because if they're not on paper, they cannot scale. Franchises thrive because they hand operators a proven playbook. Buyers will see chaos as risk and clear systems as scalability. Fourth, financial clarity. having dashboards instead of guesswork with clean numbers, proven margins, and no surprises. In a franchise ready business, financial transparency is not optional. Fifth and final, brand transferability. Can your brand thrive without you having to be in the spotlight? A franchise brand has to stand on its own. Whether when your reputation and your customer experience are built into that system, buyers see an asset that can grow far beyond you. If you master all five of these, here is the truth. Buyers will compete for your company, even if you never sell. And if you choose to franchise, you've already built in the equity and the systems that will make others line up to invest in your model. So now let me show you how these levers play out in the real world. Meet B&B Roustabout. They didn't start with investors or big equipment. Back in 1994, it was just a dad and a pickup truck taking on small jobs in the oil field. His son grew up riding shotgun on those very same calls, learning the business from the ground up. Fast forward a few decades, that son bought out his dad and is now the majority owner. His partner is his best friend, the guy who had been working alongside him for all of those years, known for fixing problems that no one else would touch. On paper, they had built something very impressive. $7 million in annual revenue with 40% gross margins out of one location, crews in the field, equipment completely asset driven with no liabilities, and a reputation for getting jobs done on time, on budget, and safely. But when we stepped inside, we saw no documented systems. A decision and approval always had to run through those two founders. There was burnout everywhere, with long nights, constant fires, and no relief. They weren't scaling a company. They were running themselves into the ground. Does that sound familiar? Because that is the danger zone that most operators live in. The revenue looks strong, but without structure, you don't have transferable value. And without transferable value, you do not have the foundation that you need to even think about franchising. The truth is, without systems and independence, you don't own a business. You own a very stressful job that happens to throw off some income. And no buyer or potential franchise partner is going to pay a premium for that. So what was holding B&B back? The bottleneck was founder-driven growth. Every single thing, every decision, every invoice, every fire ran through them. They were the system. Here's the truth. There were no SOPs, no leadership layer, and no way for the business to run without them. Buyers see that instantly. And when they do, they don't see opportunity. They see risk. And here's another angle. A business that is dependent upon its founder could never scale as a franchise, because without documented systems and a leadership layer, you cannot replicate success across multiple locations. The truth is this: when a company cannot run without you, you don't own a business. You own a job. And that is when buyers walk away, or worse, because I have seen it and done it myself. They will discount you so hard that you barely recognize the offer to begin with. And that's the same reason a potential franchise partner would walk away too, because no one wants to buy or have to replicate your chaos. And here's the shift that we helped B&B to make, the same shift that could change everything for you. We pulled out every process out of their heads and built clear playbooks. We trained their team so that execution did not depend upon the two owners. Leverage is everything. Think of it like a content waterfall. One pillar piece of work can be multiplied across as many as 26 different platforms for valuation. That is the same mindset that you need for your business systems. Build it once and scale it many times over. It's also the same mindset that you need to make a strong business a franchise. Your playbook becomes the blueprint that others follow to replicate your success in new markets. That single move unlocked three critical things for the two owners. Time, because they were no longer trapped inside every decision. Trust, because the team knew exactly how to run the operation without having to second guess. And transferability. The business became something that a buyer or potential franchisee could understand, run, and scale. Here's the truth: when you stop being the bottleneck and start building documented systems, you unlock freedom and real enterprise value that it can expand far beyond your own four walls. While it is true, and I 100% believe it, hustle does build income and revenue. But trust me when I tell you, it's systems that build equity. The two owners of B&B, Justin and AJ, they thought that growth meant they had to work longer hours. But what we showed them instead was how to build systems that ran without them. We documented every repeatable process from onboarding to billing, and we trained the team to own them. And then we went a step further because we are trying to turn your business into an empire. And building an empire, it is a team sport. When you bring in or develop A players, they become weapons for you. Those weapons take ownership of key areas. And by doing so, you unlock growth far beyond your own personal bandwidth. So the payoff was the founders got to step out of the weeds. The team stepped up in ownership, and the business became an asset that buyers value, not just a job with payroll attached. And here's what it looks like in real time. Now, with these systems in place, Justin and AJ have time to spend on strategy, not on firefighting. They've already secured a nearly $2 million job, and they are in the final sprint to land an additional $7 million job before the end of the year. These two projects alone will increase their year-over-year revenue by 33%, projecting a total of nearly 70% year-over-year growth in revenue over 2024. The truth is, the fastest way for you to multiply your valuation is not through more grind. It's through building systems and a leadership layer that outlasts you. Now, B&B has the foundation to do more than just grow. They have the option to scale nationwide, even franchise, because the business no longer depends upon those two people. And here's the transformation that I get to see over and over again. Before, Justin and AJ were stuck in what I call operator mode. They made every decision, fixed every fire, and personally reviewed every single invoice. While that might feel like control, it is actually a cage. But after, we built 7 documented playbooks. Everything from how they bid a job to how they close out a project. We set a weekly cadence for accountability and leadership. And suddenly the team was not just following orders. They were running the business. And more importantly, they were growing it. The difference between being trapped as an operator and stepping up as an owner is just that. When you unlock your time without losing traction, that is when real enterprise value starts to build. That's when buyers stop seeing a job and start seeing an asset that they want to compete over. And now, with those very same systems in place, Justin and AJ aren't just thinking about the next project they have to bid on. They are exploring how to take their model nationwide through franchising. Let's step into the buyer's seat for a second. Shoes that I have had the privilege of wearing over 400 times in private equity. Because this is where most founders get a wake-up call. First, can your team execute without you? If the answer is not an emphatic yes, buyers don't see a business, they see a job. And no one wants to pay a premium for another job. The same is true if you ever want a franchise. Franchisees will not buy into a model that only works if you are in the room. Second, are your margins consistent and predictable? A buyer isn't buying just last year's revenue. They are buying confidence in future cash flow. If your margins bounce all over the place, that confidence in your valuation drops very fast. A strong franchise model demands the same consistency so that every unit knows exactly what to expect. Third is the brand transferable beyond your name. Your reputation is the whole brand, then what happens when you step away? Buyers are going to look for a business identity that can stand on its own. That's exactly what attracts great franchise partners. Clarity that the brand can thrive without the owner having to be in the spotlight. The truth is, founders, they love these systems because it frees up their time. Buyers and franchise partners love the certainty because it protects their investment. If you build with all three of these questions in mind, you're not just growing income. You're creating an asset that buyers and future franchisees will fight over. Now I want to bring in someone who lives and breathes this every single day. Lane Klostow is the founder of Franchise Matchmakers. Over the last decade, he has worked with hundreds of franchise brands, helping both emerging and established systems refine their operation, match the right owners with the right concepts, and scale in ways that attract serious buyers. He's been in the trenches with franchisees and franchisors, guiding them through everything from initial selection and onboarding to operational optimization and exit strategies. When it comes to understanding what makes a franchise truly valuable, not just on paper, but in the eyes of the investors, Lane is one of the best in the business. And here's the part that I'm super excited about. Lane is one of my partners with the franchise consulting company. He and I will be working together to help turn your business into a legacy through franchising. Lane, thank you for being on. Take it away. Now, let's transition to another perspective. I've had the privilege of knowing Dan McDonald for almost 20 years now. We have worked for and alongside each other in multiple companies. When the opportunity came for me to step out of the corporate world and become an entrepreneur, one of the first calls that I made was to Dan. His insight and vision, because he had walked that path multiple times, gave me the confidence to take that step. Everything that has happened since, starting and exiting multiple businesses, and now being able to help founders and owners, I owe a large part of that to Dan. He has worked across numerous franchise brands and knows exactly what drives premium multipliers. Dan, thank you for being on, and I turn it over to you. Thank you both, Lane and Dan. They just gave you the insider's view, what buyers watch for, and what separates scalable systems from shaky ones. So how do you actually build that kind of a system? Well, that is where we can offer Franchise Genesis to you. It is a complete franchise package that turns a proven business into one that buyers will compete for. With over 100 years of franchise expertise, they guide you through strategy, FDD creation, operations manuals, marketing, and exposure in top franchise platforms. And here's what it unlocks. Low or no capital needed because the franchisees, they fund your growth. A higher return on investment because there's lower costs with a bigger return for you. You also get lower risk and liability because the franchisees sign the contracts, not you. You get faster growth because you scale without having to hire extra staff. There's less daily operations because you coach and they run it. And you have motivated owners because they have skin in the game. You get better performance and quality because traditionally, franchise units outperform company-owned ones. You also get a lean structure so that you can grow with minimal overhead. And finally, a strong brand and advertising because the franchisees help to build it and help to fund it. The bottom line is when buyers see a company backed by a proven financial framework, they see predictability, scalability, and equity, not just income. But we do not stop at just franchise genesis. We take it a step further with Alloy. Because building your franchise foundation is only the beginning. If you want to create a model that actually scales and that buyers and partners fight to be a part of, you need more than a starting point. You need a complete solution. And that's what we deliver through Alloy. It's not just one step, it's the framework, a full ecosystem designed to carry your business all the way through scalable, transferable value. We touched on franchise genesis, where we build your foundation through FDD, strategies, and systems, everything to make your franchise ready and scalable from day one. But then we go into franchise opco with franchise operational support to help you open and scale units without burning out your own internal team. We have Gen Dev to outsource franchise sales and growth expertise, bringing in firepower to drive expansion without you having to figure it out alone. There's also Fran Realco with site selection and lease negotiation that saves you money and saves every franchisee up for success before they even open their doors. That's the power of Alloy. It's not just a tool. It's a complete solution to take what you've built, multiply it, and turn it into a legacy that others invest in. That's how you stop building alone and start building something to last. All right, so let's tie it all together with what we call the strategic growth blueprint, because we do not just help businesses become franchises. We help any business grow and thrive to turn it into a legacy. This is not theory. It is a custom map, measure, architect, and propel built around your specific business and your specific exit scenario. Here is the truth. If you do not define your destination, the market will. And the market will not be generous. It will discount, and it will discount hard. So how do we build this blueprint? We start by pulling the 5 levers of value: strategic clarity, founder independence, system architecture, financial clarity, and brand transferability. But we do not stop there. In order to pull each lever, we dive into 10 real-world categories of your business, including money metrics that matter so that you have clean financials and reporting that buyers can trust. We look at how you actually run things to generate an operating philosophy and ownership style others could model. We look at your playing field to see the industry trends, risks, and opportunities that are present and that are upcoming. We look at who you're really serving so that we understand your market with clarity and proof. We check to see who you're up against with a full competitor breakdown and positioning against each. We look at how you can win more attention with marketing that actually drives the needle. We look at where you can grow next with paths for expansion on your own or through franchising. We see who's on your bench to help you have team development, alignment, and leadership layers. We look at what you're actually selling, the products and the services that you either already have or can add that will drive high margin. And finally, how you get deals done, your sales process, closure rates, and execution, because that is the depth that buyers are looking for. We are not guessing. We are mapping exactly where value is hiding or leaking. Then we architect it with systems, leadership layers, and brand assets that will scale and transfer. Finally, we propel, executing and amplifying for growth and exit. When you run your company through this blueprint, every decision, hiring, systems, marketing, they feed into a business that is not just bigger, but far more valuable. Is it simple with the blueprint? Yes, it is. Is it easy? No, it is not. Change is not easy. But will it be worth it? Absolutely, it will. All right, so now it's your move. Please do not leave this webinar with just ideas. Leave with your next step. Book your complimentary discovery call with me utilizing the QR code on the screen. We will dig into your exact situation, whether that's scaling through franchising, boosting a valuation, or just building a company that runs without you. When you schedule, you'll unlock all of the toolkits and a streamlined growth blueprint free of charge. This is where you make the shift from operator to owner, from just income to equity buyers compete for, even if you never sell. Is it simple? Yes. Is it easy? No. But it will absolutely be worth it. So let's get you booked. And let's bring it all together before we open it up for questions. We've talked about a lot, and I want to make sure that each land home. We've discussed why franchising is still one of the smartest scaling plays that you can make when you build it right. We've talked about the 5 levers of value that drive 2 to 3 times valuation growth in as little as 90 days without adding more hours to your work week. And we've talked about what buyers actually pay for, the systems, the clarity, and the brands that live far beyond the owner. Now it's your turn. Drop your questions in the chat. We are going to answer them live, right here, right now, so that you leave with clarity, not just with notes. Before we wrap up, I want to make sure that you know where we can connect in person. The Great American Franchise Expo is hosting several upcoming events, and I will be at these to meet you, answer your questions, and help you map out your next steps. We have New York, New Jersey on September the 6th and 7th, DC on the 20th and 21st, Houston, October 25th and 26th, and rounding out the year in Dallas on November the 8th and 9th. If you will be anywhere near any of these cities, this is your chance to sit down with me and our team face to face. There will be hundreds of franchise brands at every event, each having walked in your shoes before, built a successful business, and then taken it a step further to turn it into a legacy through franchising. We'll dive deeper into your business and show exactly how to scale or franchise successfully. If you've been thinking that you need help to walk through any of this, these events are a perfect opportunity for you. Reach out to me utilizing the QR code and I will help you to secure a ticket. I hope to see you there. And I want to wrap with this. You're not just building a business. You're building something future generations will point to and say, that is what legacy looks like. Something buyers fight for. Something your family is proud of. Something that earns you a seat at the table where real value is built. Every founder hits that moment. You either keep grinding or you build something bigger than yourself. This is that moment. This is your chapter. This is your shot to go from income to impact. Unlock your custom value roadmap and your 90-day implementation plan with the accompanying customized strategic growth blueprint. Let's make it legendary. Let's make it yours. Let's get started. Thanks for everyone for being on today. I sincerely appreciate you all taking time out of your busy schedule to spend it with me. And I cannot wait to see you all on your discovery calls and the upcoming expos at a city near you. Thank you, everyone.